Good evening, everybody. Now it's here. It's just me on my own at the moment. I'm just waiting for Matt to sort out his internet. So I hope everybody is okay. I thought I better go live because we're already kind of 15 minutes late. And Matt tested his internet, and it was all and it was all good, and it was all set up and everything like that. So I think, unfortunately, it's just kind of broke the system when it's gone live. So as soon as he comes in, I'll get him logged in. But I know you guys are waiting, so I didn't want to leave you hanging for too long. So let me just say hello to a few people. So evening Vlad, evening Fran. I'm just going to log in because some of you still haven't got any. Right. There we go. I think I can see him now. So let me add him to the stream. Hello.
Hello.
Oh my God. Wow. Okay, that's a look. That's definitely a look.
I'm looking at it.
Are you steaming up?
Maybe.
Are you steaming up?
Maybe. I don't know.
Oh my God. Right. Okay. Well, live from sunny Spain. Sunny face mask Spain. How is it? Evening, Matt.
Good evening. Are we live?
Yeah, we are live. I thought, because obviously we're a little bit late starting anyway, and this system is really weird. If you don't go live within a certain window, it deletes it all, and you have to reset it all back up again. You can change the time, but I thought I'd just go live anyway and let you join in. So let me get the app. There you are. So, right, I'm just going to say good evening to everyone. Evening, Doug. Evening, David says hilarious. David says #quarantine. Yeah, you are literally going to be under quarantine. We'll talk about that in a sec. Howdy, guys. Howdy, Paul. Evening, David. Evening, Fran. Evening, Karen. Evening, Vlad. Oh, right, everybody.
Let's see if I can get you guys up so I can see your chats as well.
Do you know what? Because obviously you joined before about 5-10 minutes ago, and it was like really, really pixelated. But now, to me, this looks so clear. I think this looks the clearest I've ever seen you.
This is the best internet I have ever used in my life. I kid you not. We're kind of in the mountains in Spain, in some random remote location, just to let you kind of get an idea for kind of where we are. Holly's mum and dad have moved over here, basically. So so this is their place.
Oh, lovely.
And what was I going to say? I don't even know what I was going to say. The internet here is best I've used anywhere in the world, including America, Dubai, London. Don't matter where you've been, this internet, I tried it on a speed test this morning. I have never seen anything like it. I was gobsmacked.
Is that because there's just not many users around there hogging the internet?
No idea, but it's unreal compared to back home. So I think I was getting like 500 meg or something like that. Back home, I get about 36 meg. I might have the numbers wrong, but it's something like that. It's like better than 10 times better than what we get back home. So no wonder it's clearer. But what I've done is where I was around there, slightly prettier, but the further away from the router. So I've moved. Ollie just grabbed some stuff. We quickly shoved it around here and came to you guys, got a bit closer, but it's not as pretty. I mean, I could find a prettier backdrop. Like, it's a bit prettier down there.
No, that is pretty. It is pretty, definitely. Well, Holly to the rescue again. She always saves you.
Yeah.
Always saves you.
Yeah.
From a technical point of view. So, right, loads of people have joined tonight, and I thought they would.
I'm just kidding. I was making out I was one after.
Loads of people have joined tonight, and I'm not surprised. There's been so much that's gone on really in the last 2 weeks with Amazon. I honestly don't think in the last 2 weeks I have seen more changes in the last 5 years than been selling on Amazon. It's been crazy with everything that's going on, not to mention, buy box algorithm issues that people are talking about. Sales have slowed down, a little bit for some people as well. And on top of that, Amazon is changing the game in the way that they're doing things. But we're going to cover all of that for you tonight, guys. If you've got any questions, please pop them in the comments box. If you do get a chance beforehand, don't leave and come back and do it again now. But StreamYard does give you the opportunity to register. You have to just go through and tick a button. And then what will happen is that your name will show up so we know who you are instead of saying Facebook user. I know some of you have done it and some of you haven't. It was, it's not the end of the world at the end of the day, but just so we know who you are. So if you ask a question, we can get you popped up on the screen or something like that. Please give us some likes and loves as well and little emoji type things because it helps push out the reach. We also stream via YouTube as well now. I don't know what that does to YouTube, but just on Facebook, it just extends the reach and lets everyone know that we've gone live. So if you can give us some likes and loves, that would be much appreciated. So Brian's joined us, Alexander, Andy, Mo, Sue. Sue says perfect internet way up in the mountains. So there we go.
Karen gave us one love. Oh no, somebody else is giving us some love now. It's okay.
Oh, cool. So Mark says, hey, lots of changes this week on Amazon. Shame I can't stay. I have to head home. Well, don't worry, Mark. What happens is this is automatically recorded and the recording goes into the video section of the Facebook group on Secret Wealth Project. So as far as I'm aware, I've never really looked, but as far as I'm aware, it goes live instantly. As soon as we finish, it uploads instantly, which I think is pretty amazing.
It'll probably just have to process. So whatever time it takes for Facebook to process the video, but I imagine that's about 10-15 minutes at most.
It's crazy when you think about it. You've got this sort of technology now because, whenever you used to do a huge, like a webinar or something like that, and people wanted the replay, you had to wait for it to upload and do this. And now it's pretty much instant. Even if people are like on a +1, they can watch it an hour behind. Obviously, it's best to be live if you can, because you get to ask live questions and see live reactions. But yeah, it's pretty good. So
what's the weather like there, Nat?
Well, it's been shocking the last couple of days. It poured it down yesterday like it was March. But today's turned a little bit of a corner. And then Thursday and Friday, which incidentally, Thursday's my birthday. So Thursday and Friday, it's going to be, I read in the Daily Mail, don't hate me, anyone. I do read it for my showbiz gossip, shameful admission. But it said it's going to be like hotter than Crete.
Ooh, yeah, I heard it was going to be 31 or something like that in the UK. But knowing down where you are, that means it'll be about 33, 34 because you get a bit better than up north.
Yeah, definitely. So it's going to be, well, I think we get a hotter temperature, but it feels cooler because obviously of the sea breeze.
Yeah.
But that means every man and his dog is going to be down Bournemouth this weekend because evidently they can't go anywhere else. You don't get quarantined for heading down Bournemouth. But we'll have the police. I've got no doubts whatsoever. Because last time this sort of weather happened, we had like this international incident in Bournemouth where they had to shut it all down. It was taking 7 to 9 hours to get out of Bournemouth for people. So be warned. Be warned. If you are watching and you're thinking of heading to Bournemouth this weekend, don't. It'll take you hours to get out. It'll take probably, I was going to say, apart from the quarantine issue, it will probably take you quicker to get back from Spain than it would anyone, from Bournemouth. But yeah, apart from that, so what's the weather like there?
Oh my God, relentless is all I can say. I mean, this is the most, to be fair, it's 27 minutes past 8 here. So the sun's just dipped behind the mountain, as you can kind of probably see there. Off in the distance, but it's red hot. It's just been red hot. It's red hot now. Been red hot all day, every day. We've not had anything other than red hot. And I ain't too good with red hot. But today's the first day we've been to a beach. And we spent half an hour on the beach before we had to come back to get here for you.
Don't blame me.
No, that's it. The only time we've been to a beach, half an hour today. I wasn't sure what it was going to be like. With all the mask wearing going on and all that stuff. But the reality is, in this area, people walk around with masks on outside mostly and drive around with masks on. But like where we've just been to, which is an hour's drive away from us, Alicante, which has got a bad reputation, but I'm not sure why, because the beach was beautiful, but lovely beach, lovely sea. And nobody was wearing masks. Nobody gave a crap. The police weren't wearing masks. The people on the beach weren't wearing masks. Nobody really walking around or driving around was wearing masks. So, like Alicante region, no mask wearing. Here, everyone's quite masky.
That's interesting. Well, I think since you guys have been away, obviously, did you go away before the compulsory mask wearing in the shop took place?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, when you guys come back, what a difference you will notice. It's like night and day to people wearing masks now.
Like everyone's wearing them.
Well, certainly where I am. We went out today and people, like you said, people wearing them in the cars, which I don't really get that. Wearing them in the cars, they're wearing walking down the street, in the shops, every single person had them. And you know what I found really, really interesting was we got given a load of surgical, you know, like type of one you were wearing. We got someone that was trying to sell them on Amazon, and he ended up giving us like 500 of them. So we got those. But the what was interesting is people have really made the effort to like jazz up their face mask. I didn't see many people wearing the medical type. They've actually like gone online or gone whatever, and they've actually gone out to really make the effort to buy proper face masks. Well, I know the surgical ones, but you know what I mean, which I found really interesting. So I think people really have taken it seriously now, the face mask type of thing. So
I watched a guy on TikTok. He took some Nike socks, chops the bottom off the sock, so you've just got the tube top bit, chop two little bits in the end, and it makes a perfect Nike face mask, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, I think people are definitely, it's definitely going to be the new fashion accessory. I bet you in places like Daily Mail and on the internet and things like that, you're going to see people wearing like Gucci and Fendi face masks. Disney have got some ones which I've pre-ordered, obviously, but you know, that's what people are going to see moving forward. But it's interesting. I know someone else that was in Spain, and they came back and they said, what a difference, what an absolute difference between they came back on Saturday, so day before the quarantine rules got put into place. But what a difference it makes. And I think people are really kind of paying attention. I think that it just means that this is going to be the new normal. I can't see them lifting the face mask thing, to be honest.
Ever?
Not for a while. Not certainly throughout 2020 and going into like the flu at the end of the flu season, which I think is obviously spring next year. But be interesting. We'll wait and see.
Good luck to him. Good luck to him is all I'll say. Without wanting to get political and on my horse, I can send you to an NHS. I think it's NHS website, government website, definitely. If not NHS, but government website. Before all this, before we were told to wear face masks, saying that face masks offer little to no protection, and as we know, these little weird fabric face masks that we're wearing are unlikely to have any positive effect whatsoever. But obviously that's a hot potato. Me saying that is going to annoy some people.
No comments. But
I'm wearing them because I'm wearing them out of respect for other people, you know, because they think that they're necessary. But the reality is, I won't go into it because I'll annoy people.
I think that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. I could take it or leave it. I haven't looked into what they do or what they don't do, but I think overall, obviously, it's a legal requirement now to wear them in retail, so we have to do it anyway. But literally, it's something that even if it wasn't a legal requirement, I have been wearing a face mask every time I've gone out because I do think it's respectful. I do think, do you know what? At the end of the day, it just shows. I think it just shows that you understand what's going on, and you know that.
I will wear them for two reasons. One, because they're making us, and I don't want to get fined. Here in Spain, they're fining people for not wearing them, so that's the primary reason. And secondary reason, because some people are believe that it actually helps stuff. So I'm going to wear them for them. If it was up to me, I would wear no face mask because it's all nonsense. But I'm not saying coronavirus is nonsense. The face mask thing is nonsense.
You love your conspiracy stuff.
It's not conspiracy, it's fact. There is no medical basis. I could show you a video of doctors before all this showing you the different face masks and saying these are worn by surgeons, but they have no ability to stop coronavirus. These are blah, 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 blah. it's all madness. But again, sharing too much as usual, Matt. Probably
As
annoyed
usual.
20 people, if not
Right.
more.
Well, let's talk Amazon. I'm just going to quickly go through the comments before we update everyone on the news and what week it has been for updates, certainly, because everything we're going to be talking about is going to have a big impact on people's Q4s. So Fahana says, I think the mask requirement should have been introduced much earlier, even though I'm not sure if it works, just in case if it works. Absolutely. It's, just in case, you might as well. It's not doing anyone any harm.
There is an argument for them helping not spread it, but for protecting you wearing one, there is no argument. There's no scientific basis for a face mask helping you, for one of these fabric face masks, stopping coronavirus.
Yeah.
Well,
I think it's one of those things. It doesn't do any harm, but who knows? We're all in this guinea pig period now anyway, so might as well do it. Indra's joined us evening. David said, did someone mention the number 500 this week? LOL. Yes, that is the big. That I feel like 500 is the answer to the Amazon universe this week. This is the number on everybody's lips. So David says they only work much better if we all wear masks. Otherwise, as you said, they're not worth it at all. It's not about protection. It's about consumer confidence. And that's a good enough reason, really.
Yeah. I agree on that. If it makes people feel safe enough to come out of their homes and start spending again and let the economy go, then I'm all for it. So that's another good reason for it.
Yeah, definitely. That was Andrew that said that. And Sue says, do not talk about masks. I'm having a battle over a tube of cream face mask. Amazon are determined that it's a safety product. Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, ever since I think I was speaking about this with Luke last week, that ever since it was announced that masks were mandatory again, Amazon sent those little bots out and they were destroying all the listings and removing listings, anything that's got mask in the title. And obviously lots of beauty products were impacted because face mask or, mask for skin or something like that. So it's, people were getting kind of policy safety violations. It's annoying, but it's something that we've just got to deal with now, unfortunately. If you get an opportunity to be able to edit the listing and remove mask from any type of description or title, then it's probably worth doing that. But, we will see, how Amazon are going to be during Q4, which we'll come on talk about in a moment. So Hayden says, evening. Paul says, Matt, I'm feeling you, mate. I'd be melting. So let's have a look at a couple of questions just before we get started. So Sean says, I'm clearing out stock and bringing stock back that I can't sell. Really important to get my points over 500. As I said, the number 500 is going to be coming up massively tonight. Definitely. So, David says, where's the trademark sunburn, Matt?
Not been in it enough yet, David. I've been hiding from it somewhat because, I'm not really burnt at all, and I should be. But like I say, half an hour on the beach today. That's all we had. So.
We will see a Sam and Matt at some point.
Without doubt, I'll screw up.
Yeah.
I tell you what, just a little side note, just to answer that question. Well, I got this technique right. P20, Ryman's P20 is the best suntan lotion you can buy in the world. It's the best ever. Like, you can do crazy things. I've got the pastiest, most burnable skin ever. I can go in a Dubai water park, spend all day in there, or Orlando water park, spend all day in there, in the water, out the water, not burn with P20 on, and you only apply it once. It's amazing. Ryman's P20. If anyone burns, get it. It's next level, right? But I got this technique for putting it on, right? What I do is I get the bowl and I draw a skeleton on my body. So everywhere I've got a bone, so I'll have a little rib cage of suntan lotion in each limb, all over my body, and then I rub it in, and then I do it a second time. So I draw a skeleton on my body with the suntan lotion, rub it all in, and then you know what happens? Every time I manage to burn. I don't know how, because I'm covering every piece of my body. Holly comes along, squirts a little bit in her hands, does this magic on me, and I don't burn. Don't know why, don't know what that is, but just to let you know, don't draw skelly bobs on your body thinking that you're covering everything. It does not work, but P20 does, top notch.
Well, so, I think it goes to prove more evidence about Holly's a keeper at the end of the day. There you go.
Holly for sure is a keeper, a goalkeeper. Yes, he's a keeper.
Right.
Just for rubbing lotion off, if nothing more.
Yeah, definitely. Right. I just want to ask, I know that you put up something about this, Matt, actually. So you'll be the best one to ask, actually. But I just want to see who asked it. I can't
Hamza.
go
It's
far
Hamza.
forward.
Hamza says, yeah, Hamza says, do you think this new 2% tax the government want to introduce on online sellers might affect us? What I'm worried about is it starts with 2%, but it gets increased usually as time goes by and usually ends up much higher. Yeah, so I don't think anybody would complain too much about a 2% tax, right? Online sellers tax. I mean, I don't like the idea of it. I understand the argument for it. And with all the free money they've been dishing out left, right, and centre, they're going to have to do something. Having said that, I don't think a 2% online tax is going to save the high street. I don't think that they're going to cut business rates significantly enough to make it worth it with that 2%. I think what it'll just be is a new tax. And the problem I've got with it is, like Hamza says, it starts at 2%, and then next year it becomes 2.5%. The year after it becomes 3%. In 5 years' time, it's 5%. And before you know it, we've got a 10, 15, 20% online sales tax on top of the VAT and on top of income tax and corporation tax and all that stuff. So it's percentage creep that I've got a problem with, really. So I wouldn't be, if they said it cannot increase more than, like, if it can't go above 2% for the next 25 years, then I would be less opposed to it. But I know it starts at 2, ends at 5, ends at 8, ends at 12, and before you know it, it's just adding cost onto the consumer, which us as sellers and online sellers usually end up footing the bill, as we do with VAT. We're meant to collect VAT, but in reality, it just comes out our margin. So, yeah, not a fan, of course, as an online seller, but it is what it is. If they do that, half of the time when they put these articles out there, it's to test public opinion.
Yeah.
So if people start going up in uproar about it and everyone's going, wow, they'll never do it, or this government won't do it in this term. But if everybody's like, I don't mind 2%, then they'll do it. And like I say, before long, it'll be 5%, 8%, 12%. So that's my thoughts on it. But obviously, anything that increases the price to the customer or reduces your margins can't be a good thing as an online seller. But if you're an offline business, it'd be a welcome change.
Yeah, and it won't save the high street. It just won't. You know, that is dead man. I think it's even gone past dead man walking now. I think it's
dead village walking, dead town. Yeah.
It's not going to change it. The world's changed. You know, we've seen so many different types of businesses that are moving into the high street now. They need to think of a new radical plan, radical plan that's going to save the high street in a different way, convert it into different types of businesses, allow incentives for that, you know, at the end of the day.
I tell you what I need. Again, I'm getting on my soapbox a little bit here. What you need in town centres is you need free, decent parking.
Absolutely.
So, you know, 2 hours minimum free parking. That, like, if you can go Asda or Tesco or order it online, why would you pay for parking in a town centre to visit a load of shut down shops in the rain? You're not gonna. So one, you need free parking in town centres. And what was the other one? I forgot now. I've been ranting so much, I've forgotten the other one. The other one's just as important. Oh yeah, no, they're on about doing it. I think it's a really good move. Boris is on about changing the rules so that it's going to be easier to turn commercial properties into residential properties. Now, that's a smart move. Every town centre in this country has too many commercial properties. They're all boarded up to let. It's not going to get any better anytime soon. So if you allow landlords to cut the red tape and get fast-track planning permission to turn commercial into resi, you will see town centres transform, because instead of a massive oversupply from yesteryears of the high street, you won't have an oversupply of commercial property. You'll get to the right balance, and there'll be more people living in the town centre to spend money there as well. So it'll be a self-perpetuating thing, but you got to do that free parking, or you're going to get eaten alive by online and supermarkets.
Yeah, definitely. I'm a big fan of what they do in, well, pretty much every other country apart from this one, is where they take a big development and they turn it into a multi-function kind of business. So you've got a combination of restaurants, you've got a combination of maybe a gym, and you've got residential as well. Do you know what? When I was younger, obviously we live in a family home now because I've got young children. But if I had the option to go and live in one of these kind of complex buildings that had residential apartments, it had a few shops in, had a couple of restaurants in, had a gym in, had a swimming pool, had all of these type of, you know, multi-function uses that they do in so many other countries, that they do well in so many other countries, then that, I mean, it's a no-brainer really, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I've never thought about that. I don't exactly know what that'd look like or how it'd work, but it sounds good to me.
Yeah, definitely something, but they need to think outside the box. They need to do something radical. Free parking ain't going to cut it. It's not.
Not on its own. But I mean, it's definitely been a contributor to the decline of the high street for sure.
Definitely.
Because before the internet was destroying the high street, the supermarkets were, and they were blamed for it. It was the supermarkets, like you basically putting out of business all these small town independent businesses like butchers, florists and stuff, card sellers, and just send them all to out of town where they've got big car parks all under one roof. Tesco, Asda, they were the ones that just started the decimation of the high street, and then it's just the internet's just speeded it up and made it 10 times worse.
And it's interesting, actually, and I think it's gone full circle a little bit now, because now I see businesses thriving that were not thriving before, because they've modernized and they've changed with the times, and they've pivoted. Like in our area, there's like this really popular, and it's almost like you've got to be on a list to get in. It's like a really popular butcher's. Obviously, close your ears, Matt. But they do all organic. You know, everything's like. It's perfect, and it's, you know, the best possible meat that you can buy. It's not just a bog standard butcher's that's been put out of business. But stop doing that.
Sorry.
An example, it's not a bog standard butcher's that's kind of just been put out of business by Tesco. They pick the finest cuts. You know, it is not chemical based. It's not this. It's not that. But I'm saying that type of business that's innovated, moved with the times, recognize that people don't want to be eating water-filled chicken and chemical-filled chicken and things like that, and they want something higher quality, and they're willing to pay for it. Those are the type of businesses that are really thriving at the moment in the high street setting.
I think where you live is like, you're in a bubble anyway. No offense, you're in a bubble because like you got tourist money, ain't you? You got tourist money.
We're in the Bournemouth bubble.
Yeah, you're in a bubble. You come up north. You come up north.
Well, we lost our Bournemouth bubble this week. Our Premiership team got relegated, so that's a bit of dent on the Bournemouth bubble. But it is a lovely place to live, and yes, I appreciate we are very lucky to live here. But let's move on, because we've been chit-chatting, which you know, we've been talking about relevant stuff anyway as well. But let me talk about everything that's been going on with Amazon.
Shall we smash through these questions before they run off the page and we can't see them again?
Okay,
just real quick. For Hannah says, is it worth keeping products in Amazon warehouse for more than 6 months? Reason why I'm scared of buying in bigger quantities is because of this fear.
It's because of the fear. Not really at the moment, to be perfectly honest. With everything we're going to talk about tonight, there is argument for everything that Amazon is changing in the way that they look at their business moving forward to deal with what's happened with the COVID-19 pandemic. Is they are changing it now for them not to be a glorified storage unit, to be perfectly honest. They want stock coming in and they want stock going out, i.e. being sold. So that is something that I wouldn't purposely now buy stuff to send it into Amazon for it to be stored for long periods of time. I think what's going to happen moving forward is things are going to be, if you are wholesale or your private label, by the way, because obviously in OA, we don't tend to buy huge quantities. You know, the advice we always recommend is shallow and wide, obviously, to, you know, have a depth to your inventory, not put all your eggs in one basket. So all the changes that have happened, we're the people that have been scathed the least, to be perfectly honest. But if you're a wholesaler or private label in particular, they're making it clear, don't send the stock in unless it's going to sell, and don't send it in you're not going to be allowed unlimited quantities to be able to send it in anymore. You know, that's what Amazon have made the changes.
So this is the 500 thing, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. So
shall we talk about that then?
Yeah, let's talk about that. Okay. So honestly, just in answer to that question, I would say that I don't know if you're going to have the ability to be able to do that anymore because of the second part of the restrictions that Amazon have put in place this week. He's always doing that. The second part of Amazon have put in place this week is because they're only really going to limit you to maybe 3 months worth of potential supply for certain types of products. But like I said, we'll talk about that in a bit more depth. So I made a load of YouTube videos last week about the inventory performance index scores. And
are they the ones I've not put up yet?
Yeah, those are the ones that have not been put. And then Amazon changed everything.
No.
It's fine. Okay. Put them up anyway. Because I do.
Really?
Yeah, no, yeah, still put them up because there's loads of relevant information in there. Okay. It's only the points that's kind of changed a little bit. Okay. So, right, the number 500, that's what we're all talking about this week. Now, when the inventory performance index was originally put in, however many months or year ago or whatever it was, we knew that it was going to have some sort of impact on the way that we sold on Amazon, but 100% sure what it was going to be. So as it's transpired now, and it may or may not have been sped up because of everything that's gone on with COVID-19. So it may have been accelerated because of that. But rest assured, this was the end goal. That was what was going to happen. It was the end game that Amazon had anyway. It just may have come in a little bit quicker because of COVID-19. Because
So Nat, breaking it down, making it real simple, because I've noticed half the questions we've had tonight are, what is it all about? Can you just, in the most simplest terms, what is this change and what does it mean to sellers?
Okay, so up until last week, you had to adhere to a minimum score of 400 points on your inventory performance index. And if you went below that, then it may be that your storage was restricted for the following quarter. So people think.
So what's the number? What gives you a score of 400 or 500? What are they measuring?
Well, it's made up of around 8 different things, but it has 4 major impacts. And the 4 things that make it up are excess inventory, sell-through rate, stranded inventory, and in-stock inventory. So those are the 4 main key factors that will have the biggest impact on your score. But in layman's terms, I suppose, it comes down to how quickly your stock sells. Yeah. You know, the stock that you're sending in, how quickly it sells. And if you are replenishing that stock, then that's what Amazon like, because they're making money out of you, if that makes sense. So that's what it comes down to. So just this last week, Amazon and most OA sellers sit somewhere between about the 400 and 700 mark on the point chart. That's what most players.
My guess is, from what you've just said, basically, if you're the type of seller that buys and has got the capital to buy 6 months worth of stock of one ace in, that's going to be penalized in the future because they don't want it sitting on their shelves. They want you to buy 1 month's worth and get through it. Is that right?
Yeah, probably around somewhere between 10 and 12 weeks worth of stock. Okay. That's what they're looking to do now. But as I said, most OA sellers and most OA sellers sit probably between somewhere 4 and 700. Now, anyone over 500. Now, Amazon increased the minimum last week from 400 to 500.
They mean business. They mean business.
It went from 400 to 500. And so for a lot of people, because there are a lot of sellers that are below the 500 mark, so a lot of people are panicking now because this isn't something that's just going to impact on Q4. This is done on a quarterly basis now. So you will be assessed every single quarter, and your storage limit will be determined by what your points are on your Seller Central account. And that will be done every quarter now. But obviously, the first quarter this has come in that it's impacting is going to be Q4. So people are kind of panicking, which I totally get, because the limits most people, if they're below the 500 points, are being restricted to is about 200 cubic square feet. And I'll come on to that in a moment, because to a lot of people, if you Google 200 cubic square feet, it's like the equivalent of a cargo single cargo container. It doesn't look big at all. It, you know, it's all about volumetric kind of dimensions or
so like one of the smaller 20-foot shipping containers. Do you mean one of the...
Yeah, something like that. So that's what it looks like. So people are a bit like, oh my God, how on earth am I going to get through Q4 with 200 cubic square feet? Now, the first thing I want to say about that is, don't forget, guys, if it does happen to you, it really isn't the end of the world. Obviously, everyone wants unlimited storage, and I get that because you want to be able to send stuff in for Q4. But what you've got to remember is the goal with Amazon is to sell stuff, and it is a rolling figure. So if you send in 50 cubic square feet worth of goods, and that sells, you'll be able to send in another 50 cubic square feet. It's a constantly rolling figure.
Yeah.
It's not 200 cubic square feet or whatever your limit's going to be for the entirety of Q4. It's going to be, as long as the stock is constantly moving, then it's going to be a relatively okay figure. So just to give
basically, if you're a private labeler that buys 10,000 items and thinks they're going to sit on Amazon shelves, that is done. It's over. They're not gonna. Well, you have to drip them in.
Then to add on top of that as well. So now most people are thinking, great, I'm over the 500, so I'm not impacting. It's not going to affect me. But then what they've also done on top of that as well is they have limited per ASIN 200 units to be sent in at any one time as a maximum. Now, this is going to have a huge impact on private label sellers. Like massive.
200 units of any single ASIN?
Of any single ASIN. Now,
whatever it is, doesn't matter if it's small, big, that's a maximum. Is that for everybody or?
We don't 100% know at this stage. Like I've got private label products or, you know, unique bundle where they normally advise me to restock about 800 units a month, something like that. But I'm now limited to 200 with that. But what we don't know is as soon as you send your first load in and it sells, again, it's going to be a rolling figure. So it's still a rolling figure. So if you send 50 in and you sell 50, you'll still be able to send another 200.
Logistically, that's a little bit of a nightmare. If you like to keep a month's worth of stock in or 2 months worth of stock in your case, you're going to only be able to send a week's in of that particular product.
Potentially, it's not a huge issue because it doesn't change our production of it. It just means we're going to have to send them more regularly, obviously. And to be perfectly honest, we don't tend to send 800 in at once anyway. We tend to send weekly. So for us, it's not really a huge biggie, but
it could be for some people.
Oh, it's a huge, but again, one of the reasons why I advocate doing private label, the type of private label I do from the UK, is because I've got the facility to be able to do that. If I've ordered 5,000 units from China, then that's a different ball game, obviously.
Yeah. Your Matt C says free removals at the moment. Get those slow sellers out. Great tip. I'm sure Nat was going to get onto that.
Absolutely. So we'll go back and talk about what we can do to get our scores up, you know, for Q4 anyway. But private label, this is a game changer for them. And by the way, guys, I know that this has been going around in groups, and I did want to mention it tonight. I don't want to focus on it because I know predominantly we're not private label community so much here. We are definitely more sort of arbitrage and wholesale. But you see these people kind of popping up in Facebook groups, and they're offering paid services in order to get you over this 200 limit. They found a glitch. They found a hack to be able to do it, and they're charging about $500 from what I can see to be able for people to do it. But if you've got 10,000 units stuck somewhere, you're probably going to pay it. But the only thing I would say is don't do anything that puts your account in jeopardy. At the end of the day, Amazon put these limits there for a reason. If you are trying to manipulate the system, you might get away with it this week. You might get away with it next week. You might get away with it for a year, but Amazon will catch up on it in the end. And then if they do, nobody can moan if they get suspended for breaking the rules.
They will. They will. They'll blame Amazon. They'll say, oh, Amazon are evil.
Yeah.
They'll forget the fact that they were naughty.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be something that's going to affect our guys too much. So that's why I haven't gone into too much of a rant over it.
Stevenson says he's had to remove over 400 pairs of shoes from FBA. His shoes are slow movers, and my score really suffered. Waiting to see the result.
Yeah, absolutely. And it should be something that takes about 2 or 3 days to show the result. So let's go back and talk about what we can do to improve people's scores, because people are facing being below the 500. They didn't expect that. They didn't expect Amazon to put 500 as the new limit. So most people over 400 thought they would be okay.
That limit, clearly, I mean, why Amazon have to come up with these stupid things? Like, honestly, it's like playing a computer game, only the computer game's not very fun. Do you know what I mean? Like having to do these weird little things, inventory health and bloody this and bloody that. It's a bit of a nightmare. But what they'll do is, depending on their own projections, they've probably figured out they can lower and increase that number as they want to. So Q4 come in, make it 500. They start getting maxed out in their warehouses and getting a load of slow sellers. Well, increase it to 550. So that there's almost certainly early indications that number is going to continue to go up and down depending on time of year, stock levels, what's going on in the economy, etc., etc. So I wouldn't expect 500 to be permanent.
Possibly not. I think I said that in my YouTube. I think it might be I said that in my YouTube last week. It might be or this week. It might be a temporary fix.
Yeah, and I think as they build new FBA centers, because there's one opening where I used to live, massive, huge. Obviously, they might be able to adjust that down. You know, you imagine 5 new FBA centers opening in 1 month. They've got loads of new storage. They're not going to be as restrictive. So I think that number, you'll see that number going up and down over the next few years.
Possibly, that the only thing is now as well, if you are below the limit and you are restricted to a storage limit of X amount of cubic square feet, if you go over that, they've introduced a new charge. So to be perfectly honest, it's another way for Amazon to make money. So I don't know, part of me thinks they will, part of me thinks they won't, because it's another fee earner for them. So we just have to wait and see. But the only real month this is going to have a huge impact on is going to be Q4. But as I said, the good news is, and I always like to talk about the positives as well as the negatives, is because Q4, the stock is going to be turning over quicker. Because you've got this constantly rolling figure, then I don't think it's going to have bigger impacts. And I want to reassure people as they think it's going to have. So just to give you an example, I've been doing my maths, I've been doing this, and about 200 cubic square feet will probably get somewhere in the region of maybe like 300 or 400 SKUs within their inventory. So it actually holds a lot more, depends on size. Obviously, if you do on purely oversized stuff, no, 200 cubic square feet is not going to go very far. But if you're selling really small beauty products or small products, smaller toys, that type of thing, 200 cubic square feet, because it's a volumetric dimension, goes a lot further than you think it does. So I don't want anyone to think it's the end of the world. It's annoying, but it's not. Just carry on as normal, because I think a lot of people may or may not hit that limit anyway, to be perfectly honest. So
I think the key is you just... It's like taxes. Like the government will change the taxes to incentivize you to do a certain thing, and to disincentivize or de-incentivize you doing something else. So it's the same with Amazon. Amazon have always been like this, and this is why they introduced the long-term storage fees a few years ago. But basically, they don't want you to use Amazon FBA centers as warehouses, storage warehouses. They want you to use it. So imagine Amazon. This is how I see it. It's a shop front. So you put your immediately to sell stock in your shop front, and everything else sits in your warehouse. But your warehouse can't be Amazon's anymore. It needs to be your own. That's basically the change, especially for private labelers.
Yeah, absolutely. Drip feeding is going to be the new black, as they call it. That's what it's going to have to be. But
it's not the end of the world.
It's not. And it just advocates the advice that we kind of give all along, which is go shallow and wide at the end of the day. 3 to 5 units. Don't go too deep. Yes, I know we're all very tempted. I guarantee anyone that starts this business, anybody that starts this business, one of the first questions they always ask is, how can I buy more of that unit? Don't. Just find a different unit. You know, sell it, move on. It's great if it's replenishable, but only replenish for the items that you're going to think that you're going to sell for that month, and then that will be rewarded in your score as well. So let's just quickly talk about what you can do if you are below the 500, because I think it's given a few people a shock. Oh, that was the other thing I was going to mention. So
there's a mozzie trying to bite me now, so I'm going to go get something to like.
Okay, I'll just carry on.
Yeah.
So everybody that got the assessment, I think it was yesterday, telling them what their current score is. You guys, if it's below the 500 mark, you're going to have another 4 weeks to be able to get that score up above the 500. Now, as I said, it's not the end of the world if it doesn't happen, but I don't want to make casual of it. I still want people to be able to try and get above the 500 mark, because it's just going to be easier for things. You're not going to put yourself in a position for extra charges and things like that. So what you can do now, the biggest impacting indicator, or there's probably two, but the one is sell-through rate. So that is how quickly you sell your items, or the percentage of what you've got in stock versus what you're going to be selling your items. And that's pretty self-explanatory. So what it comes down to is, especially over this reassessment period of the next 4 weeks, go through your items. And I really cringe at myself for saying this, and I don't want anyone to sell stuff that they are going to lose money on. So please don't take this advice of just sell everything and lose money. That's not the case. But take a look at pricing, and maybe where you can make a profit that you're happy with, go through, have a look at that pricing, and get it sold during this period of time. As somebody said, I can't remember. Oh, it's Matt. Matt says, Amazon are also offering free removals at the moment. So if you go through your inventory and you realize that it's going to be a loss, or you're not happy with that level of profit, then you can take advantage from July 24th, which was a few days ago, free removals to have those goods taken out and sent back to you. Now, personally, I would say that's the better option than losing money on the sale. So take advantage of that free removals. Amazon have been super, super helpful. Oh, got some products there. We turned into QVC.
Yeah, but none of them are the right thing. They've got no DEET in them. You have to have DEET in them. These are just like citronella smells by the looks of it. So they shouldn't work very well.
Citronella, it's nice.
I've made loads already.
Are you going to do the skeleton?
No. I've already done it upstairs.
So take advantage of those free removals. Like I said, I don't want anybody, is on the sangria, I don't want anybody to lose money, and sell-through rate's really important. So if you can't sell it at a profit, remove it, have it sent back to you, and then but the only thing is, if you have it sent back to you, you can't sorry, it's really distracting me. You can't have it, you can't resend it back into an Amazon warehouse for 90 days. So what Amazon is saying is, don't take advantage of our free removals and then just try and send it back in. They're not having that. You can't do it for 90 days. But personally, I think the free removal option is going to be best. Go through all your inventory, check what you can sell at a profit and what you're happy to sell at, if you can sell it, because that will automatically contribute even more to your point over free removals, if that makes sense, if you can't get the products out. Second thing is stranded inventory. So make sure you deal with all your stranded inventory, get it out, get it removed back to you, or deal with it. I think the limit is there's 2 indicators now, more than 5 days and less than 5 days. It used to be a rule of thumb with stranded inventory. It didn't have any impact on your account. Now it does. Advice has changed. Deal with it immediately. Get it out. Get it removed back to yourself. I'm being quite hard tonight. I've got my head mistress.
You know what I really like about you? You know what I really like about you?
What?
Your fingers on the pulse. Your fingers on the pulse. And people know that. People know if they come to the Secret Wealth Project at 7 p.m. on a Tuesday night, they know they're going to get the latest and most up-to-date information with full analysis and what to do. And that's what I really love about this and you, Nat. So I just wanted to say that. Like somebody said, which we'll get onto that in a bit, but somebody said, I've only just bought the beginner's course. How will this affect me? We'll talk about that in a bit. But we'll talk about that in a bit. But Nat's actually released a brand new beginner's course, but we'll talk about that in a bit. But no, Matt, bottom line is, there's nobody in this industry with their finger on the pulse more than Nat. So if there's any changes, Nat will make sure you know about them. So don't worry about that. If something's changed since you recorded the course, which is bang up to date, as in, I think you recorded it last week, didn't you, Nat?
Back end of it was recorded last week, but it's funny you should mention that, actually.
Yeah.
And we will talk about it a bit more in a minute. But, you know, courses, as soon as I think I pressed end record on the last thing, then the next day it came out about blooming Brexit and the EFN stuff. And I was like, right, I did a whole module on that. And, you know, I can't help it. Obviously, I keep it up to date, you know, with everything that's changed. And that's not going to happen for months anyway. But very quickly, Matt, as a new seller, you are the Matt that commented.
The other Matt, not me.
You're not going to be impacted as sellers that have been selling for more than 6 months. So rest assured, you should be all good. You should be able to take
so the first 6 months, none of this applies. Is that correct?
It does, but it's more of a kind of sliding scale. But it's not something that Matt would have had too much, or any new sellers starting out now. They're not going to be impacted by too much, because obviously, even if they were to be restricted, it's going to take time to build up the inventory anyway. So it's not like it's something that they're going to start with 300 square feet, cubic square feet worth of inventory. Just wouldn't do it. So
as a new seller, you're not. As a new seller, you're the most restricted you're ever going to be. So you're going to be gated in everything that's possibly gateable. Yeah. You're not going to be able to sell some stuff that's going to be really frustrating because other people in this group are going to be able to sell it. But that's just the game. Yeah. Amazon don't trust new sellers at first, and they're right not to, because scammers come on and try and scam Amazon's customers. Amazon can't allow that. So you have a little bit of a sandboxing period whereby you can't sell everything. It's just part of the game these days. You just got to go through it, and it gets lifted. So it's nothing to worry about. But like Nat says, this is not something that's going to super affect you right now anyway. So don't worry too much.
Yeah, absolutely. As Matt quite rightly says, if anything, it's probably going to be something like gating that's going to be more of an immediate impact. But believe me, when it comes to new sellers, there are thousands and thousands of products that you are able to sell. So
presumably you go into all that on your course anyway, don't you, Nat?
Yeah, absolutely. We go into what you can sell.
We'll talk about course in a bit. Now, let me get through some of these comments because I don't want them to roll off the screen and us not be able to see them.
Okay.
Emily's put, as Luke Duggan mentioned, we're being penalised for stock which is waiting to be received at the warehouses. It counts these SKUs as requiring restocking.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, it was Vlad, who I know is watching tonight, made a really good suggestion about what to do on this. And this is what I love about the community, because there are some really experienced sellers that all pitch in. And it's impossible for one person to know absolutely everything. And
Vlad's a top guy. Vlad's a top guy.
Absolutely. He's an absolute oracle when it comes to Amazon as well. So he made a really good suggestion, actually, about going in and hiding the recommendation, which is something I wasn't aware of. So you go into manage inventory, inventory planner, then you select, I think it's restock inventory, then you go in, select all the marketplaces, go through the tick, select all with like the tick option, drop down menu, hide recommendation for it to restock inventory. And Vlad says that has a good impact on the in-stock inventory option, which is one of the contributing factors to making up your score. So hopefully, I think in that scenario, it should work. But all credit due to Vlad for that one.
Top tips for Vlad. Thanks for bringing that to the community, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. And he did post that in a lot of detail.
Sean de Paul says, I'm bringing hundreds back to get my score up. Where the hell am I meant to put it all? My house and unit already full, lol. I thought you were building another unit.
The second unit, Sean.
Yeah, the second unit, Sean. You'll be all right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mona says, all sellers will be dropping the prices even further to improve the numbers.
Possibly.
Yeah, maybe. Well, that'd be temporary.
But and the same, Amazon's offering free removals, so people might be removing their stock as opposed to dropping the prices. Personally, if it's a choice for me, removing or losing money, I'd rather remove it.
Yeah. Stock has some inherent value to it. So whether you sell it now,
everybody's going to have Del Boy flats this Christmas with boxes stacked up in their lounges. Definitely.
Your Matt C says you will be crowned the MF King, Sean. Lol. Karen says Amazon will definitely find you out. Please look after your account. She's talking about a little bit earlier on. Emily says it's all about creating a barrier to entry and rewarding bigger, more professionally set up sellers. It's a fair point. The thing is, people that overcome the bumps over time, it just becomes a little bit harder to sell on Amazon for new people, which is a barrier to entry and not a bad thing for you as an experienced seller. So if you think about getting into it, there's no better time than right now. Sean DePaul says, I sometimes think Amazon want you to have your own warehouses. You can even get buy box as standard merchant selling, beating FBA sellers.
Yeah. I mean, we're not going to talk about it tonight because I haven't seen loads of evidence about it, but a lot of, the argument still exists between FBM versus FBA, buy box algorithms. And, it's like this massive, you'd love it, Matt. There's this huge conspiracy about buy box algorithms. Some people.
Can I get a tinfoil? Can I get a tinfoil?
Yeah, absolutely. Some people are saying it doesn't exist. The A9 algorithm doesn't exist, and it does exist. And
the A9 algorithm 100% exists.
Yeah, I know. It's super.
Find details of it on their website.
It's like, so it is super weird. And some people are saying that buy box rotation does exist and it doesn't exist. I try not to get too much involved in that. At the end of the day, if you're priced right and you're in the right location. Actually, interestingly, Amazon did come out and make one point on this that I read about, is that it said that the buy box now will go to the person or the seller that they feel, based on their data, which we know Amazon have been collecting this data for years, felt would have picked that option. So, so it's like geographical, whatever. So that's an element that they're taking into that.
Well, I remember the legend that is John Stevenson mentioning that years ago about the geographical location. And I definitely think it's a thing because it makes sense. Why send something from I don't know, Devon up to Scotland when there's one in Scotland? So absolutely, I think that's a thing.
Yeah, definitely. And so we don't know. I know a comment's just come in. I think Steve says, are Amazon likely to start pushing MS? Surely that's the future of Amazon. I don't know. They've got the FBA, they've got Walmart, which is something I was going to talk about with you tonight. Actually, Matt. I don't know if we will have time because we have got a lot to get through. But Walmart Plus is being launched in America at the moment.
Is that going to be anybody can sell like on Amazon, or is it going to be like Walmart's previous incarnation, which was basically we choose who can sell, which is a stupid idea, Walmart?
Well, I haven't looked into it in massive depth, but it is apparently being held as the one that is going to take Amazon on. So
you should do it.
That's what we need.
Argos should do it in the UK. eBay should do it worldwide. Walmart should do it worldwide. Like it's ridiculous that they've allowed Amazon to get away with this for so long, and they're just letting the businesses get decimated when they could actually become really good competition. Because as much as Amazon do a lot of things right, they also do a lot of things not so right as well. And I think if you were smart and if you made the right decisions, I think somebody with deep enough pockets could really be a serious contender with Amazon, which would be good for the consumer, good for us as sellers, and good for Amazon, I guess, because it would make them up the game. So there is opportunity. If you look at anything that Argos stock, and it's interesting that you said Argos. If you look at anything that Argos stocks in the search engine, you can bet your life they come above Amazon in most search engine results. So they do have a bit, a bigger model in that respect in the product stock. Is that out of stock when you go through to checkout?
I said that at the end.
Yeah, but is that, here we go, putting my tinfoil hat on, right? Is that standard SEO? Because you're telling me that Amazon, with all the backlinks and all the history and all the authority and all the smart minds working for it, you're telling me that they can't rank products higher? Conspiracy theorist. Now, you've heard about Google Shopping, haven't you? What they're doing, basically, they're removing the selfies. I think you're going to be able to basically list items on Google Shopping. It broke up. You're going to be able to list items on Google Shopping for free, as far as I'm aware. Now, Google Shopping had something like 3,700 merchants compared to Amazon's millions of merchants. Now, that is going to shift somewhat when Google offer free listings, and I don't think there's any percentage on the sale either. That's going to mean that a lot of merchants are going to switch over to Google Shopping. And part of what's held Google Shopping back so long is the fact that they've not got the depth and width of inventory that Amazon have got because of the third-party seller network. Well, this could change all that. So there's a lot of big players making good moves, which leads me on to what I was going to say is, you say Argos ranks better than Amazon. Well, it's no surprise. Google probably don't see Argos as a competitor, but when they're moving into the e-com space more so with each day and month that goes by, makes no sense to be ranking Amazon higher. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a little bit of a shadow tweak on the algorithm.
Bit of sandboxing to Amazon. Yeah.
Bit of a shadow tweak. No, we're not doing anything shenanigans. Page two.
Indra says, is it the same 90 days rule to remove products to FBM? No, absolutely not. So you can remove them and relist them FBN within that 90 days. Absolutely no issue with that. Amazon would probably prefer that, to be perfectly honest, for removed stock. And then finally, just going back to the 500, because there's one further thing I wanted to cover.
Go on, sorry, go on, go.
The final thing, which is a part of the in-stock contributing factor as well. And I know a lot of people have been asking this. It's deleted listings versus closed listings. Now, I'm going to be 100% honest, because I would never talk about something I don't know, or don't have an experience of. I delete listings as opposed to closing listings. So for those of you that don't know, anything now that you are not going to replenish to contribute to your score, and again, some people say it does, some people say it doesn't. Anything on your inventory that you are not going to replenish now either needs to be closed as a listing or deleted as a listing. There's two reasons why. Now, some people say closed as opposed to deleting, because if you ever do get to replenish it, then you don't have to re-add another SKU. And I totally get that argument. I do totally get that argument. But I think chance of that happening might be small. So you may as well delete from all marketplaces, because with the added benefit of deletion as opposed to closing, you're not leaving yourself open to potential IP claims on top of that as well. So if they I've heard Karen recommend that in the past as well. Yeah. So just delete. That's my now. Yeah. I'm not saying now there is a possibility that closing might have a slightly better impact on your score. I don't know, because I don't close listings. I delete. So I can't say that for 100%. But personally, for me, the way I see it is I'd rather lose the extra points on deleting as opposed to closing if it does make a difference, because I don't want the potential IP claims. So hopefully that makes sense. Absolutely it does. John Stevenson said absolutely right, Matt Webley. I think he was talking about when I was saying you was great and finger on the pulse. I think because Ruth Miller straight after said that is fantastic. No, absolutely. This is all, every time I tune in, like I'm just like listening, like I'm like, this is like turning on Amazon news, Amazon seller news. There's nothing. I'm just a bit of an Amazon geek, to be honest. I like finding out about this stuff. I like doing it. I enjoy it. And it's great, Nat. And it's great. It's probably why we've got 53 people tuned in live right now, and pretty much that kind of number. Huh? 61 on my screen, and I think we were like 67 at one point, so it's great. And we appreciate you guys all tuning in. We really, really do. And I really do hope people do get value out of this. I really do. Of course they do. You maniac. You're great, and you know your stuff, and you come and share it free with the Secret Wealth Project community, and on Never Mind the Buy Box, and on the new YouTube channel every single week. And I think people really appreciate it, and they're really realizing that if you're looking for like authority knowledge, this is where it's at. Mm-hmm. She hates me saying stuff like this. Okay. She won't promote herself. She won't be all salesy. And I'm all about that stuff. I'm like, look, if you're good, shout about it, because you're doing people a favor by helping them. And she helps loads of people for free every week on this channel. So I just want to give her a bit of juice for that. And it's getting loads of thumbs up and loves and stuff. So I assume there's other people that agree with me. I just want to smash through these next few. Go for it. You be question master. Go. Sean DePaul says, sorted my stranded inventory out, but I've got hazmat ASINs that won't budge and won't move, being trapped in my stranded inventory. Yeah, there's nothing I can do about that. Unfortunately, I've got no workaround for that. I will try and look into it in a bit more detail because I know that's causing problems for a few people.
I know a guy who knows a guy. No, I don't.
Yeah.
I do, but I don't.
But someone in one of the dodgy Facebook groups will be able to do it for $500. No, I'm only joking.
Well, I do know a guy that knows a guy, but yeah, no, we don't go there. Adaranki says, "Can hiding be?" No, and I'm not talking about that, Sean. That's like, I was joking. There's nothing. I can't help you with that, and I don't know a guy that knows a guy. I'm just joking. Yeah. Adaranki says, "Can hiding be done in bulk?"
Yes. Tick the. When you've got like the tick box option that appears above all of the other ticks. Tick that one and you can do it in bulk, but you have to keep doing it because sometimes it picks them up, sometimes it doesn't. And as Vlad says, I think you need to do it every few days as well. So it's not just one job and it's done. Keep doing it.
Okay, cool. Omanike says, Vlad, thanks. That's a new one. Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Kerry said, hello. Hi, Kerry. Aid says, I've just tried. We'll look into it. Matt Cromie says A10. Is it A10 now, not A9? That's news on.
I think so. He might know that. He's a bit of a geek for that.
Yeah, maybe it is. Last time I knew it was A9, but I haven't gone back some years. And I might be thinking about something else. Anyway, Steve says, are Amazon likely to start pushing MF? Surely that's the future of Amazon. Well, they did do earlier in the year, didn't they? Really pushing MF.
Absolutely.
But what's the balance right now, Nat? Is it FBA still? A focus on FBA?
As far as I can see, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
It's FBA. It's the balance has tipped back to FBA.
Matt says Walmart's new system is good for PL. That's interesting. Indra says, is it same 90 days rule to convert removed products to FBM?
Yeah, we answered that one. And yes, we did.
John says, I applied to sell on Walmart when they first launched their online platform. However, you had to be a US resident. US prep center wouldn't cut it. It may have changed now. Of course, obviously, if Walmart want to take over Amazon, they can't be restrictive over everything. They're going to have to be opening up stuff up.
This is brand new. So this is Walmart Plus. So this is the new thing. So,
fingers crossed. The bottom line is, if you want to take on Amazon, you cannot not do Prime. You have to have some kind of Prime offering if you want to take on Amazon. And if you want to take on Amazon, you have to have a fully open for anybody to sell third-party network for third-party sellers. You have to. And number 3 that you have to do if you're going to take on Amazon properly is you've got to have some FBA center solution. If they don't do any of those 3, they will not succeed in the face of Amazon. If they do all of those 3 and do them as well as or better than Amazon and do some other stuff, then they could have some serious competition breathing down the necks. Obviously, Amazon's definitely got like a massive advantage at this stage with like how many people shop on Amazon and how many people have got Prime and all that stuff. But it's not too late to be taken down. They still do a lot of things wrong. Not that I want to see Amazon taken down at all, but like I said, healthy competition will be good for sellers, consumers, and Amazon and other businesses.
Definitely.
Steve says MF will be the new local economy. John says the new Facebook stores coming soon. Looks exciting. Absolutely. I didn't see any more details, John, other than what Zuckerberg said when he first announced it. But yeah, anything like that. There's a lot of players moving into the e-com space. So you've got Wix of all people, which is a website builder primarily, moving into the kind of e-com space with their platform. I think you've got all the other web builders. I'm not sure about Webley, but Squarespace, I think they're probably at it. You've got Google Shopping. You've got Walmart moving in. You've got Shopify doing their thing and BigCommerce and WooCommerce. There's loads of them, and they're all wanting a piece of Amazon's pie. So
Amazon are going after the scout. For Amazon, that's no one bigger to go after. How quickly they'll be able to do it, who knows? But we'll see.
Whether they'll be able to do it at this stage, who knows? But you know what? Even if they take 10-20% of Amazon's market, it will still mean a nice, cool 10-20% uplift for you by just listing or getting a VA to list or something on those other platforms. Aid says, how long will it take to improve the score after deleted now?
Should start seeing changes in about 2 to 3 days, something like that. But they are not going to be big changes. It's going to be accumulative. So just keep going with it. If it jumps up 2 points, don't get disheartened. Just keep doing it.
The lady Karen Hudson says, I'd suggest you close and delete any listings you aren't selling, as it helps protect your account from potential health issues with suspensions, etc. So that's just confirming that.
Karen has spoken, so therefore it is law.
Oh, yeah. Karen knows about all that stuff, folks. Sean DePaul says, anybody had warnings with Cadbury's? I had 4, but managed to remove them few.
Yes. Yes, everybody. And again, this is something that Sean gave a really big tip on. So thank you. If you could clarify, I'm pretty sure it was in Secret Wealth Project, but Sean managed to get some IP violations removed from Cadbury, who this week have gone after resellers. But again, we don't know if it's Cadbury or whether it's Amazon bots or whatever. But yes, I do know a lot of people that had Cadbury listings taken down this week. So, but yeah, Sean managed to get those removed.
The lady Karen Hudson says, Nat so knows her stuff, no question. She's the Amazon queen.
Oh, no, I disagree with that. I disagree with that.
I think the Amazon queen just called you the Amazon queen.
Karen is the Amazon queen, I think.
You two can be Amazon queens together.
Well, it's a modern world, isn't it?
It's a modern world, Nat.
Absolutely.
Embrace it. You know what? Whilst we're talking about Amazon queens, and before I continue with the comments and then what you want to talk about, let's talk about your course, because we briefly mentioned it earlier. You didn't want a big song and dance launch, did you? We both agreed that you're going to put together an amazing beginners focused course that takes somebody that's never sold on Amazon before, or somebody that's kind of started but don't really know what they're doing and just in a mess. So it takes those total beginners and enables them to set up an account, source profitable stock, and create a sustainable business doing online arbitrage and retail arbitrage on Amazon. That's right, isn't it, Nat?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as you know, kind of the hard kind of sell, not that you're the hard sell or anything like that, but
I am proudly
with kind of internet marketing stuff and that, there is a hard sell that goes on. And it's just not my vibe at the end of the day. I think with this type of business, you have to want to do it, and you know, there is a lot involved, and I do believe in barriers to entry as well. At the end of the day, I do think that if you're going to do something, do it right, and that's why I did put this course together. But I tell you what, you know, I discussed this with you. This was actually a hard course for me to make, because, you know, we're going back to the very beginning. We're going back to things I haven't done certainly for, you know, 5 years, and, you know, the process of setting up the business, because this is from scratch. This is for people who have almost don't even know that third-party sellers exist on Amazon. You know, that's who this course is for anyone that is not selling on Amazon at the moment. So this was so I had to go back and I have to, and you know me, I'm a big detail person. Well, I think anyone knows me, I'm a big detail person at the moment. So a lot has gone into this course, definitely. But I want people to be able to want to do this business, to be able to build this business and do it realistically. It's a fantastic business to be able to get into, but I want realistic expectations in this business at the end of the day.
So we're not going to be promising that if you take Nat's new beginners course on online arbitrage, you're going to be a gazillionaire by next month or next year. It's not a get rich quick thing. It really isn't. It's look, if you're tired of searching through YouTube videos, finding conflicted information, if you're tired of going through the Facebook groups and seeing one person say this and somebody else say that, and not really knowing who's right and who's wrong and who you should listen to, and you want to save time by not having to do all that and consume a load of information that doesn't actually apply to you, you just want to fast track your process into setting up an online arbitrage business, then Nat's new course that is literally launched today, it's launched today, is available right now, isn't it, Nat? And there's a discount as well. There's a discount coupon. So if somebody wants to post the link if anybody's got the link for the page where you can sign up for Nat's course, no big webinar, no big hard sell. No one's going to get promised you're going to be floating on rubber dinghies through the Amazon rainforest rivers. If there is none of that. It's just straight
weird comparison.
every week, Nat comes on here and shares her knowledge, shares her thoughts, and she's a true authority, having sold on Amazon for 5 years, and you see the content she puts in here and the quality of it and how up to date it is. Look, if you want somebody to hold you by the hand and guide you through the process properly without all the fake like dreams and stuff, then Nat has now got a beginner's focus course. So we're not going to big hard pitch it, hard sell it, but all I can say is, look, Nat's stuff's awesome, and if you want to get started on Amazon, there's no better way to get started. You're reading something, Nat. I can see you moving eyes. Are you all good?
I know. I was listening.
Okay, I thought you were reading. I thought you were reading something. I'm going to say there's no script here. I'm just trying to dodge mosquitoes. But if somebody wants to post the order page link, then you can get it. But I'll tell you right now, there's a discount coupon code that gets you £100 off because we're celebrating the launch. We don't know how long that's going to stay on there or not. But the course is only £299 plus VAT anyway. So it's a real super duper cheap course. But with this discount code, you get £100 off. So I think it ends up being £100 off.
£199, I suppose, plus VAT. Yeah,
£199 plus VAT, I think. So it's not £299, it's £199. So, like I say, I don't know how long that's going to last. Whether it's minutes today or it's going to be next week, I'm not sure.
Yeah, we're just going to be pretty casual about it, aren't we? Yeah. And just sort of like, we'll just
stop underselling it, Nat. Stop trying to undersell it, you. She's like, no, it's okay. It'll be there forever. No, it might not be there forever.
No, I'm not guaranteeing it being there forever. Absolutely not.
So if
there is no better time to get started. I absolutely 100% agree with that. If you're going to do it, Matt, you made a really good post. I thought was it today or yesterday about getting started and don't wait until September, because I'm very guilty of that. It's one thing I'm very, very guilty of.
September's too late. September's too late to cash in on this Q4.
From a parent point of view, so getting my mum hat on here, I think naturally a lot of people will be waiting for September because kids have been off for 5 months. But
they miss Q4 if you wait. If you wait to start your online arbitrage or retail arbitrage business on Amazon, you miss this Q4. If you wait till September, you miss this Q4 because there's a learning curve. There's the sandboxing. There's all kinds of bits and bobs that are going to stop you making it work. So if you want to capitalize on this Q4 and this Q4 is going to be the best Q4 ever, and I mean that, then that's what you got to do. You got to do it right now. So there's one time. What's the coupon code? It's one-time discount. All one word, capital letters. ONETIMEDISCOUNT. All one word, capital letters, one-time discount, and I get you £100 off the course. Right, this is not a pitch fest. It never is. But, that's got a beginner's focus course now. So if you want to start a business on Amazon and you've not, and you want to capitalize on this Q4, now is the time to do it. And there's that lovely little discount. If you missed it, somebody will post it below, or you can watch the replay of this. So that's all we'll say about it. But look, Nat's course was great. Her advanced course was amazing. I've been badgering her for ages to do a beginner's course because I made a beginner's course many years ago, and many thousands of people have viewed it online on YouTube. And then I did another beginner's course, and that had probably a few hundred people view it. And they loved it, and it was great, but it's out of date. It's all out of date now. Nat's course is brand new, made last week. I think you filmed it last week, didn't you, Nat?
Well, I filmed it over a few weeks because it's quite a big course.
You finished filming it last week.
Finished filming it last week. Yeah, absolutely. And this is something I've tried to make it as evergreen as possible. So people that know me, I like to refer to certain times and things like that. So if you don't know me, I've tried to make it as evergreen as possible. So if something changes, I can just take it out and slot a new something in. That's why it's been designed in the way that it has. But it's the process from start to finish to be able to get everybody started, get them set up, and take them to their first sale. And a little bit beyond that.
And a sustainable business, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're not promising. This is not the most advanced, super duper OA strategies ever known to man. That's not what this is. This is about beginners getting started without all the palaver of watching a million YouTube channels or not learning to trust or getting ripped off.
It's like a sensible process, if that makes sense, in order of what you need to do in order to get this business started. Fahana says, is this the PL Wonder course? No, it's not. So being absolutely clear, this is for people who have not yet started their Amazon journey, because I don't want people to buy it. There will be some value in it for people, I think good value in it for people who have started it and set up, because we do talk in depth about the way that I source and things like that. So there will be some value in that, but the most value is going to be experienced from people that haven't started selling on Amazon yet, which kind of leads me on to something else, because I didn't want to leave everyone else kind of hanging, because my advanced course was something that did really well at the time, and people have been constantly asking about that. But I just want to quickly drop in and say, watch this space. I'm not ignoring everybody that's already been selling on Amazon. We have something coming new. I'm not going to say a time frame or anything like that, that has never been done before. I'm going to put myself out on a limit. It's a new way.
Don't tell them too much, Nat. Don't tell them too much. Don't
No
tell
way.
them too much. Carrot dangled. Done.
Yeah, carrot dangled. It's a new way, and it's something that I think will really help support people on an ongoing basis. And that is going to be where the beginner's course kind of finishes. And sometimes I think people can feel unsupported under a course. I mean, hopefully no one that took my advanced course will feel that way, because I'm very active in supporting the people that took that as well. But I think sometimes a course can leave you hanging at the end, and, where to go, where shall I take my business, where shall I do that? So we are working on something now that is going to be for everyone else once they've got past that stage. So that's all I'm saying. That's going to be coming soon.
So basically, if you're a beginner, if you're wanting to get started, Natalie's got a brand new course, and it's great, and you should go get it. There's a discount code. If you're not a beginner, she's got something coming that nobody else has done.
It's soon.
Real soon. So whether you're that beginner that gets the beginner's course and wants to progress onto this, or you've been in the community forever, you are going to be so excited by what Nat's got coming. But that's enough carrot dangling for one night.
Absolutely.
Let's get back to the content.
John says, where's his or he? Do I get a red Ferrari? Yeah, absolutely. It's like a little die-cast one.
Trust me, John, having owned a red Ferrari before, you don't want one. I remember coming out of Sainsbury's. I looked out of Sainsbury's window at my Ferrari. I used to have a Ferrari. My first ever Ferrari was a red Ferrari F430 Spider, Rosso red with cream and roll hoops. Lovely car, kind of lovely car. And I looked out the window, and a man and his son was having a photo with it. And I thought, oh, that's lovely. And then I come back out a second time. You probably heard this story now. And there was spit all over the bonnet. I don't think it was the man and his son. I'm just saying how much it polarizes you. Now, I know you're not interested in hearing that, but I just thought I'd share my Ferrari woes with you. Ferraris are so hated that you're going to have to live somewhere real nice to get away with Ferrari. But I know that's just beside.
Yeah, you have to live in Bournemouth.
Right, there's lots of Ferraris in Bournemouth.
Yeah, well, we're by Sandbanks, most expensive place is
Sandbanks in Bournemouth?
No, Sandbanks is in Poole. So we live in Bournemouth, but everyone I know is from Poole. I grew up in Poole, and Sandbanks is in Poole. Yeah,
I drove through Sandbanks once, and I just wondered what all the fuss was about.
Yeah, it's lovely. Yeah, it's lovely. Yeah, you want to live there. It's lovely, but you got no chance of living there unless you're a kind of Russian oligarch or whatever.
No, really, is it? Have they gone up that much? Are they like?
Oh yeah, 10. I don't know, to be honest. I mean, it's 10 million plus, really, to get on the peninsula where Harry Redknapp lives. So, and 10 million won't get you much on the peninsula now. Ridiculous.
I swear, when I drove through, there were between 1 and 3 million, but it's a long time ago. I think I was driving a banged up old Fiesta back in the day. Like I'm talking one of my first cars. So, I don't know. I feel like there was like 1 to 3 million. So if the 10 million plus, wow.
Oh yeah, ridiculous money. But yeah, we don't live in Sandbanks, just to let anyone know that.
So Karen and Matt have posted the link to your course, Nat. So if you want to grab that course, go grab it. And I'm sure somebody's put the coupon code in there somewhere as well. Janet says, is the course still worthwhile if you've already registered and sent in a couple of shipments, but still very much a newbie? Did you answer that one? Yeah,
I did answer that one. It's a difficult question to ask. I think you will still get value in it. Yes, in the way that I teach the sourcing and other elements as well. But I'm going to leave that up to people's own thoughts on that, really.
Matt said that's exactly why I've bought the course for me and my son. My son will be going to university in just over a year, and I want him to do something that can help to pay him through uni without having to work. Looking forward to get going. That's great, Matt. I love it. Actually,
thank you for your purchase, Matt, and please feel free to post any questions or anything like that whatsoever. I try and help as many people, well, regardless of course purchases, I try and help as many people as possible.
You know what? Not wanting to make it too much about the course, but I tell you what, £200. No one's getting rich off a £200 course. Let me tell you that. What it is, it's a good way to actually get started in this without messing about and all that stuff. But nobody's getting rich off your £200 course. But what we don't want to do is give stuff away that's that detailed and that in depth and that stuff because nobody values it when you give it away. And I know you hear these gurus say that stuff, but I've seen it time and time again. I've put loads of effort into courses, gave them away for free. And then you look at the usage stats, like 1% even looked at any of the videos, 99% don't bother or something like that. It's crazy. And then you sell a course for $2,000 and you get something like 70% of people actually look at the course. So it's like, it's a massive difference. So no one's getting rich off a £199 course, but it's about you putting your money where your mouth is and actually deciding to actually take action. So if you're not willing to spend 200 quid to get started in business and have it handheld by a 5+ year Amazon seller that clearly knows the stuff, then it's the wrong game for you.
Yeah, and also one thing I just want to add to that as well, because I don't believe, sorry, this is going to make me sound awful when I say I don't believe in free content. I do believe in for that reason, but also at the same time as well, piecing together information that may or may not be out of date on YouTube. And there is, in the Amazon community, people do moan about people that do things the wrong way or they make mistakes or things like that. But if you're trying to piece together outdated information and that type of thing, and you've got all the people kind of guru bashing and say, oh, never pay for a course because you can get all that information for free. Well, at the end of the day, yes, you can, but you do have to piece it together. But they can't.
If you want to watch 500 videos off 10 different video creators, and that could be, I don't know, months and months of watching videos and then try and figure out who's full of crap and who's not. And trust me, in this industry, there's more people that are full of crap than not. And you want to waste your time, then you can do it for free. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you got no money, that's the way to do it for sure. That's the only way you can do it. But if you're serious about setting up a business and you don't want to take months of frustratingly watching crap videos and watching somebody like me dribble on for 19 minutes and then 1 minute of content at the end, and you want it just spoon-fed to you, do this, do that, click this, click that, handheld, and that's New Beginners Course is the one. But we made this way too much about the course.
Yes, absolutely.
Nat was like, I don't want to launch it at all. I'm like, Nat, you ain't putting that much work into a course and then not letting people know about it. So my intention was always to come and sell you that course, folks, because I know Nat puts her heart and soul into it. She's an authority in this space and she's really good, and her courses go down really well. So it's an absolute bargain for what it is. But that's it. That's us done talking about that stuff. As usual, back to, she says she don't believe in free content, but that's what tonight's been.
That's what I meant.
To the free content. Back to the free content.
No, I do believe in free content, but in that respect, in committing to a business. Sue says, is there a current intermediate course? I'm a year in, don't know it all, but don't need the setup stuff. So that's what's going to be coming. That's what's going to be coming, Sue, for sure.
But it's not a course. It's not a course, but we can't tell you what it is yet because it's exciting and different, and everyone's going to try.
And Luke Duggan's going to be involved as well. So, shouldn't I have said that?
No, you shouldn't have said that. It's Luke Dugan. Remember?
Yeah, so sorry. So that it's we're bringing something new, something innovative, but
Sorry, Luke.
About that another day. So Sean says that Matt says it's going to be the best Q4 ever. Totally agree. I say Q4 is going to be amazing.
This is going to be Q4 2.0. This is going to blow every Q4 previously out of the water. It's going to be unreal. I don't care what anyone says. This Q4 will be the best Q4 ever by far. It might even be better than the next Q4 simply because if we go lockdown or things get crazy again, well, you better know that Q4 that happened earlier in the year is going to happen again times 10.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it, and I'm really curious to know what the COVID Q4 is going to be like. I really am. I can't imagine it at the moment. Well, I can imagine it, but it's going to be weird. It's going to be like if you've never experienced a Q4 before, then all of us sellers talk about Q4, and it's only when you experience that Q4 you actually know what it's like. But I think this Q4 for all sellers is going to be a little bit like that, because it is going to be a different type of Q4, but a Q4 on steroids.
It's going to be Q4 always is like shooting fish in a barrel, right? Imagine getting a barrel of fish. Sorry, this is not very vegan of me, but imagine getting a barrel of fish and a shotgun and doing this and going bang. You're going to get some fish. You're going to get a lot of fish, right? You're going to shoot a lot of fish, right? That's a normal Q4. This Q4 is going to be like getting that same barrel, but there ain't no water in it. It's just fish. And then you're going to put a bomb in it and explode the fish up. Like, that's awful. That's a terrible analogy.
Yeah, that's what it's going to be like, folks. Oh, and by the way, our Luke, who we are truly an international contingent at the moment, because we've got Matt here joining us from sunny Spain this evening.
In the dark, outside.
Yeah, in the dark. You've totally, living your best life there, 100%. But the next week, Luke's going to be back on with us. And Luke, for those of you that don't know, today has moved to Lithuania. I think it's Lithuania. Wow. Is it Lithuania? I think it is. Yeah, no, he's moved to moved.
Why?
Huh?
Why?
He can. Because he runs an Amazon business and he can do whatever he wants, and he can live the laptop lifestyle living in a different country.
I like it, but my question is, does he know somebody in Lithuania or something?
I think he has got friends there, but we'll get him on next week to share his experience of his move. But he's like moved to another country and he's literally taken a suitcase with him. And but anyway, we'll talk about that next week. But obviously, Luke's going to be joining us from Lithuania next week. But next week, guys, make sure you join in, because we are going to do, I haven't told anyone we're going to do this yet. We're going to have a Q4 special next week. We're going to talk nothing but Q4, because Q4 is coming.
Oh, it's exciting.
Yeah, it's exciting.
I can hear the bells of Santa's sleigh jingling right now. I love it.
I love it. It's combination.
2020, not for Amazon sellers, but for the world, has been a bit rubbish, hasn't it? It's been a bit crap. But Christmas is going to bring a bit of spirit and cheer. As long as they don't try and lock us down and say you can't go have Christmas dinner with your family. If they do that, then good luck to you. Then it's not good.
I saw the best meme. I saw the best meme the other day, and I won't say the words that it used. And it said something like, F it, let's just put the Christmas tree up now and call it a year. Yeah. Oh, you know what? I actually thought like a few days ago, I just thought if I could go into hibernation and just skip 2020 and just wake up in like 2021 or whenever all this mask wearing craziness is over, I would do it. Yeah, Fran said, Nat's courses are fire. So this is Fran Pabona. Sorry if I said that wrong. Wish I had done Nat's beginner's course when I first started out. Would have saved me making so many mistakes. I've gotten so much value from Nat that her course has paid for itself many times over. She's talking about your advanced course. Yeah, Fran's done an advanced course. But yeah, I've got so much value from Nat that her course has paid for itself many times over. There you go. Matt said couldn't give away the properties after the war. Sam Banks is supposed to one day. Yeah, in like the 70s, it was cheapest chips to be able to buy on Sandbanks.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like you could buy like a normal cost of a house because no one wanted to live there. Mad.
Nice. Luke Huntley said, I've got Nat's last course and it's way beyond anything else out there. So again, advanced course. So Sue said,
something coming soon for the intermediate guys and advanced guys. 100%.
Yeah. Sue says, I rate Luke Dugan. Yeah. Luke's
absolutely.
WP. We're big fans of our Luke. John says the real value of a well-made course is the mistakes you can avoid. Absolutely. And you need to listen to John Stevenson, folks, because the guy is a living legend. Mm-hmm. He's been doing OA longer than I've been.
Yeah. John is also a very modest man as well. He's very generous in his comments for other people, but he's an absolute authority and knowledge in Amazon himself. So if he says something, listen as well.
Sue says, happy birthday, Nat. Right, we're all caught up, Nat. So let's crack on. What else you want to talk about?
what have we talked? I've kind of covered everything really. Oh, the only other thing is holiday selling requirements have come out as well, guys. So I did a post about it. It was Philip Dyke, funnily. He must have had a psychic moment where he asked about it yesterday, and then the new holiday selling requirements came out today. So this is essentially affects merchant fulfilled sellers only. So if you are selling FBA, it doesn't affect you. You know, cover your ears, la la la. Doesn't it? If you intend on only selling FBA, and it obviously affects only the toys and games category as well. So check your inbox for what Amazon has sent out today. But if you want to sell merchant fulfilled, you need to have made your first merchant fulfilled sale by the 1st of September this year. And then you need to make sure you have made at least 25 sales merchant fulfilled. Doesn't have to be in the toys and games category between, I think it's August the 15th and October the 14th. That's off the top of my head, by the way. You know, I don't write any of this stuff down. I've just got a really good memory.
They'll start calling you Google Nat.
Google Nat. Amazon, like Wikipedia. Amapedia.
Wikinat.
Yeah, something like that. I can retain useless information. It's I don't know if it's a gift or a curse. I'm not sure. But so that's for merchant fulfilled only. Now, the only thing I'll add to that, actually, guys, is because of everything that's going on this year, even if you're not going to consider merchant fulfilled, it's not for you in any way, shape or form, then don't bother, obviously. But if you would like the option, then I would go out of my way to do it, because what it can be great for is a couple of things. One being shipments take a little bit longer over Christmas, obviously, because of the weight of goods that are being sent into Amazon. So if you've got the option to be able to merchant fulfill those hot selling, you know, trend top 10 toys, hottest toys of the year, if you get the option to be able to do that, merchant fulfill them, then a lot of people that do that can make some really good profit and margin doing it. And also things like you know, sort of certain advent calendars on the toy side of things that tend to go into hazmat for some weird reason, the option to be able to merchant fulfill those. But if you don't want to merchant fulfill, don't bother doing it. But if you like the option within toys and games only, then you have to adhere to the new Amazon holiday requirements, which everyone should have got an email today anyway. Oh, and I've done a YouTube video about that, which hopefully Matt will put up sometime this week.
I will. Matt's put poop, forgot Nat's birthday again. You joker, Matt. Trust me, Nat, he's bought you a brand new Rolls Royce. Yeah.
No, he wouldn't have done.
Has he bought you a card? That's the question. Has he bought you a card?
I've seen the Moonpig cards come through, so I know he's done that.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Cool. Amazon and Moonpig buy-in. Lovely. Right, is that it? Are we done?
Sue says, REMF, remember Amazon stopped intake of goods during lockdown? Absolutely. Very good point, Sue. So if a second wave were to happen and they stopped that, yeah, absolutely. I think I did mention that in the YouTube video, but thank you for bringing that up, Sue, and clarifying that. Really important point. If there is a second wave, if they do stop the FBA and you haven't got the ability to MF because it's shut down, I think they shut it down. They stop you doing it between November the 2nd and January the 3rd, 2021. So that's the period of time you can't MF for. So yeah, maybe go out of your way to do it purely for that reason. I think we're not MFers. That sounds really dodgy when you say it like that, because we're not
MFers.
We're not merchant fulfillers. We don't. OG. We're not MFers. But not being able to sell toys during Q4 potentially could be an issue. So we will go out of our way to make sure that we are going to qualify for that.
I have been bit to bits. I am a mess.
Oh my God. Well, thank you for your sacrifice. I think what we'll do is we will kind of wrap it up here. A couple of people say many happy returns. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, I'm going to have Thursday off.
It's Thursday, isn't it?
It's Thursday, my birthday. Yeah. So I'm going to have Thursday off. So if anyone sends me a message on Thursday, it's not going to get answered. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough, I think.
Right. Oh, right. Go on then. One last question before Matt gets eaten to death. If an item is out of stock and you plan to replen it, is it best to delete or leave inactive for the 500 score? We did talk about that previously, but I'll very quickly say it again. For me, I would delete it. I would just delete it, get it out of the way. But if it's 2-3 weeks, again, might be better to actually, it could be out of stock for 2-3 weeks before going active. I think I know what you mean. If it's one of these ones that you're replenishing and like Luke said, it's taking time to go in, then hide the recommendation, which is Vlad's recommendation. Do it like that. If you are going to replenish it, it might be better to close the listing and then redo it. If you're not going to replenish it at all, I would say past or within that 2-3 week period, then delete the listing. I would say that's probably delete and close. Much of a muchness at this stage at the moment. We don't 100% know, but probably concentrate more on your sell-through rate. That's probably going to be more of an issue from getting that IP score up or IPI score up. The moon is out in Spain. You have literally gone. It's gone full dark.
I'm literally sat in the dark getting bitten.
Getting bitten to death. Right. Let's wrap it up. Let's wrap it up. Thank you for everyone wishing me a happy birthday. Really appreciate it. Let's let Matt go before he absolutely gets eaten to death. Well, I hope you've enjoyed it. Matt, enjoy your holiday. Enjoy the 14-day quarantine when you come back. Well, is what it is, really, isn't it? It might get lifted before you come back. There's nothing you can do about it. Yeah. So enjoy the rest of your holiday. Thank you for spending time. And big thank you to Matt, everyone. He's on holiday at the moment and he's joined us from Spain. So thank you very much for that.
And I've had great fun.
Yeah, it's been great.
I'm not even being sarcastic. Even though I've been ate alive by mosquitoes, probably. Yeah, I'm a mess. I'm going to have so many bites. But I've enjoyed it. It's been good.
It's been good. Join me next week with the legendary Luke from Lithuania. There we go. That's a tongue twister. Luke Dugan. He is going to be joining us next week. And we are going to be on Q4 crazy. So we're going to talk nothing but Q4 next week, unless anything major or dramatic happens, obviously.
Ooh, which it probably will, because we're living in 2020 and it's crazy. It's maniacs. Look, listen, I want to say one thing before we go. Look, there's two things, in fact. One, this is going to be the best Q4 ever. Not a little bit best Q4 ever, like massively best Q4 ever. And number two, Nat's got a brand new beginners course out. So if you've been looking at these live, so you just come into the group and you're figuring all this stuff out, look, stop figuring it out. Get your hand down the back of your sofa, pull out some change, and then go get Nat's course, because it's never going to be cheaper than this. It's $199 with the discount that's Karen posted, I think. Maybe Matt did too, but Karen definitely posted it. It gets you 100 quid off. And it's a bargain anyway at $299, but at $199, it's just craziness. So go grab that. Get ready for the best Q4 ever. You will not regret it. And it comes with a 28... Oh, God, I think I'm drunk. It comes with a 28-day money-back guarantee as well. So if you don't love it, just reach out and you get your money back. So can't say further than that. There you go. Nat's like, I don't want to sell anything. I don't want to sell anything. Well, you just did. So if you want to get started on Amazon, look, there's no better way to get started right now. And I can say that firsthand because I've made multiple beginners focus courses on this very subject. And I will gladly say, look, my stuff is now out of date. My old OA courses are out of date. Don't be getting my old courses, whether it's my free one or my paid one. It's done. It's done. Nat's course is where it's at. So if you're a beginner starting on OA and you're wondering where to go, Nat's course, go grab it. Links in this chat. Yeah, and if you're watching on YouTube, you'll have to come to the Secret Wealth Project Facebook group probably and get the link.
You'll find it. We'll get it to you somehow. Don't worry.
Yeah. We'll reach out.
I hope you enjoyed those extra bites for that extra sell at the end there.
I'm a mess. Honestly, I'd show you, but you don't want to see it. It's disgusting. Like, I've got rings of fire around my ankles. Like, there's at least 7 on each ankle.
We shall leave that up to Holly to experience that pleasure. Well, good night, everyone. Take care. Stay safe, and we will see you soon. Take care.
Thanks, Nat.